Hey guys, welcome back. It is week 3. This is Mrs. Harrington, and we are picking up after your long weekend. Hope you had a nice holiday weekend with our distance learning. So today's Monday, April 13th, and this week and a little bit into next week, we're going to be looking at argumentative writing. I think you're going to be glad to see that our pace is going to slow down a little bit, especially because we're doing some writing, but we got off to a really fast start there with a lot of materials that were planned before we really knew what was happening with grades and how we were going to be rolling things out now that distance learning has begun. So just so you know, what's coming up here starting today will count on the 4th marking period. And so you're going to see some different point values depending upon what assignments look like. So be ready for information coming out as far as assignments go and more specifics each day. We are beginning, just like we always do, with Grammaropolis. Today, you are just looking at capitalization and remembering to be aiming for that 80% score in order to receive your credit for Grammaropolis. Okay, so we have been doing a lot of work gathering evidence that is explicit and implicit. And as we've gone along, there have been really good arguments for both sides of what that princess might have done in leading her boyfriend to either the lady and marriage and a kind of a happily ever after for him, or to the tiger where he would meet a certain death. And so I was kind of cracking myself up as I was looking for memes that would go with this story. And I came across this kind of weird image. And I thought, okay, this is funny. So if you can't decide which was behind the door, I guess you get both. All right. So what do you have to do today? Easy day, guys. You are going to ease into things this week. So I would like you, please, to look at the T-chart that you finished last week. If you didn't do that assignment, you really should take some time now to do that as we're working into the beginning of this argumentative writing, because you are going to need that information to help you along the way. So pull it out. When you look at it, I want you to decide which side do you feel is the stronger case in your opinion. And you will determine that based upon the explicit evidence that you have found. In other words, which side has more stuff, for lack of a better term, that came right out of the story that you can point to in the text that supports that particular side. So when you look at your T-chart, do you have more evidence that shows it would be the lady, or do you have more evidence that shows it would be the tiger? Now, you're going to highlight your explicit evidence on the side that you chose. It's going to be highlighted in yellow if it's explicit. That means if I can actually see those words in the story, okay? For each yellow highlight, you should have a green highlight that tells me what do those words make you, the reader, believe or think. Okay, so if you tell me that explicit evidence on the part of the tiger is that the lady is jealous, or I'm sorry, the princess is jealous of the lady because it says that right in the text, then you need to follow it with information you're going to highlight in green that tells me what that made you think, okay, and how that led the princess down a particular path. So it's really important that you have both of those things for every piece of evidence that you find. So how many pairs do you need? I'm saying you need a good 3 pieces of evidence that has both parts for whichever side you choose. Okay, so that's what I want you to work on for today. All right, overview of what you need to do. Capitalization, making sure you reach 80%. Highlighting on your T-chart. And if you don't have enough information there, guys, this is your opportunity to add to it. All right, so choosing a side and then making sure that you have highlighted on that side on the T-chart what you have. You do not need to submit that for a grade today. This is work that you are doing to prepare for the writing that we are going to do. Okay, so I don't need to see it again. This is kind of like classwork if we were in school. All right, so this is the behind the scenes work that you are doing in preparation of the writing that's coming this week. I will still have office hours. If you have questions as you're working, I'm still going to be there to be answering your questions if you have them. So please don't hesitate to ask me, because if you can get this right at this stage of the game, you'll do so much better once the writing begins. Okay? So our focus is switching a little bit. As we were reading and answering questions, we were saying, okay, how do character traits shape what's happening in the story? So now we're really diving a little bit deeper, and we're saying, how does the explicit evidence that we see in the story lead us to make decisions about what we've read, which we know now is implicit information? Okay. The difficult thing about argumentative writing is that most of the time when you have an interesting topic, you can make a case for both sides, okay? You can think to yourself, well, I could kind of see it both ways. But the tough thing is you have to decide, and you have to take a solid stance on one side or the other. So as we move forward, there is no, well, I could kind of see one side and I'm also going to write about the other side. You need to pick one, and you need to develop a strong argument just for one particular side, okay? So good luck gathering your evidence today and getting yourself organized for a strong start tomorrow. We'll be looking at writing an introduction and what it takes to create a good introduction for an argument. Good luck. If you have questions, you know where to reach me, and we will talk again tomorrow.